You're saying
people make gains.
You're saying he looked good with some sweat on him. It's post 2008.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has hope in their heart again.
Yeah.
Borderlands hasn't come out yet. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 hasn't come out yet. You're like, hey, what am I gonna do for this summer? I'm waiting for Red Dead Redemption to come out. So like I need some time. So I'm gonna just mosey on up to northern Michigan to effectively babysit some kids.
Yes.
And you walk around and you look at this green hut and it says what?
He had already done the house arrest and everything after that. But I recognize that building vividly, but it was the Epstein Cottage.
They called it the Epstein
They
Cottage.
put his name on it, yeah, because he donated money, because
Epstein had...
the web is big and we're all caught in it.
Yeah, you're telling me. Hello, listener. You are here. You are in Chicago, and I am in your ear. This is your Dove AP for the second episode of 2026. I needed to call a big gun. I needed to call a 40 millimeter grenade launcher of a guest. Someone who can be seen in both the bike repair shop and the Croatian pastry shop. Doing the same thing in both, having a good time. I needed someone that understood Americana the way that someone that's gonna talk about the show Jack Reacher, Amazon's Reacher. I needed a guy that knows that. I needed a guy that has not just one, not just two, but upwards of 16 books about precedents. So we can talk about the actual essence and core of our piece of media today. I needed to call my friend, my buddy, my cyclist from another mother, Matt Rich.
Thank you very much, AP. I'm very happy to be here. Think about the last time I was on. I ended that talking about what was going to happen to late night TV, and my predictions were very pessimistic, and things shot way past that and got even worse. So I'll try not to end this with any predictions today. We're only we're just a week and some change into this year, and things are already not good.
And I wanted to get you on here because we are going to talk about Reacher, Amazon's Reacher, that is created by a gentleman named Nick Santora. He is the writer, the director, the showrunner, and it starts Alan Ritchson as the eponymous Reacher and Malcolm Goodwin as the kind of like the northerner, the Yankee, the limp-wristed
Finley.
Yeah, Finley. And then also the vivacious, the blonde femme fatale, because cops have qualified immunity. Willa Fitzgerald as Roscoe Conklin.
You familiar with the show Dukes of Hazzard at all?
Oh yeah.
There was a sheriff there, Roscoe P. Coltrane, and anytime they kept calling her Roscoe in this show, that's all I thought about was Roscoe P. Coltrane, but it's Roscoe Conklin. I don't know. Roscoe Conklin left him stanking or whatever. Maybe a reference, probably not.
And Roscoe Conklin had them slimed.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Had a lot of people slimed. This show is all about murder, destruction.
Yeah. When doing my due diligence, I went to her Instagram page, and while it is updates about her career, like a new drama and things,
you were looking for beach photos.
That too, but I wasn't alone because you go into the comment section and it's just a million dudes like, "I love you so much, please." Alan Ritchson. They just comment his name on her photos. Like it's really. Oh God!
I don't know anything about this actor, Willia, but like, I can't.
Neither did I. She looked familiar, but so do many people.
She looks like Julia Gardner. Like she lives in that like archetype of like small blonde woman. But I don't. I after seeing this season, and we're only gonna cover season 1.
Yeah, please.
I have a lot of different thoughts. Like we're gonna cover a whole bunch, and like I do. That's why I needed like a gentleman like yourself, because
to cut into it.
we're gonna talk about kind of what this show's getting at. What is the central conflict? Is like how is Venezuela part of all of this? We're gonna talk about like how this show isn't gay, so I needed someone with that perspective, and like we're gonna talk about like the thing that like I think holds up this show, which is American crime, good old sweet American crime.
Yes.
And we have to ask and we have to answer the question, is this show woke? So let's start with this. I just want to know, Matt, what do you think of the gentleman named Jack Reacher?
I think he is very meticulous, but he is kind of like a Gilgamesh or a Deus Ex Machina thing where like, if he sees something on the ground, kitty litter or whatever, maybe a wrench or something, his mind is already going to a million places. Or no, well, he'll have it figured out by then, and he'll just spit it out word for word in an itemized list of what that item means. You know, he can't, he's like a computer.
Mm-hmm. He is like this fountain of knowledge. He could see like a wrapper on the ground, and he's like, this is bubble gum. Hubba bubba. Whoever chewed this had smoked in the last 48 hours.
Yeah.
And
they drank some boxed wine.
They were drinking some boxed wine. They were drinking some Francia, and they're left-handed.
And then maybe there'd be a flashback of him as a kid. That's supposed to be 1990s. Doesn't look like 1990s. But then he'd be chewing like Bazooka Joe as a kid. And like, oh, I love the comics on this gum. And then another kid would like, hey, shut up. And then...
and this show does love to go back to Reacher's like childhood.
Yeah.
Not in a Slumdog Millionaire, which is the best type of like
those
throwback to the past.
Yeah.
It's always kind of like, hey, Reacher has always been Reacher. You've just been wrong about Reacher the whole time.
We'll get more into the flashbacks in a moment, but just something about when they do take it back, like the homes, like it looks like something you'd see on maybe a TikTok reel or something. Like this is a home that some elder millennial remodeled. This does not look like the vinyl siding of the late 80s or 90s. It's
one thing about this show is that everything is clean, including Reacher.
It's a streaming show, you know.
Yeah. It like everything is clean. There's no like weathering in anything.
Yeah.
There's no like frayed like jeans in this show. There is absolutely. This show definitely had a big budget because everything down to the prison scenes are like there's
clean uniforms.
Incredibly clean.
Iraq flashback. Clean military uniform, never been used. Tight little soldier's cap on Jack Reacher's big ham hock head. Full of clues.
Yeah, stuff.
Very alien, very robotic, I guess, as far as disposition. I mean, he literally, as far as his connection to this town, it's because of a factoid his brother told him about a blues singer. This blues singer was from Margrave, so he wandered there. I guess that's how the Reacher brothers exchange clues and like greetings and everything is through some factoids. You know, they're like the Wikipedia brothers.
Yeah. The brother who is at the center of this. Joe Reacher, he's dead. Rip Boso, I guess.
Yeah, that's the order they present clues in doesn't need to be memorized by the audience, but we'll get into it. But it's another part of the flowing that's like flat.
Don't even think about the audience because the audience right now could like just hear the mere premise of the show and guess every plot beat.
Yeah.
But one of the things about Joe Reacher and Jack Reacher, I guess, and this show's writing in general, is, as you said, it's like all the communication is very robotic. There is information. There is information within me, and I will be transmitting that information to you. Reacher it seems to have no internality.
Yeah, no conflict. He can kill very easily without any sort of remorse or reaction. It's as natural to him as breathing or pulling up another factoid in his head.
Yeah.
Murder and factoids.
Which is like 90% of what Americans of a certain age want to be.
Yeah. I mean, think about the most powerful, most intelligent conservative influencer you could. Former Navy SEAL, loves like Trivial Pursuit, loves like trivia, owns a Black Rifle coffee company chain. Not that Jack Reacher is not conservative. We'll get into that. As far as the question is whether or not this is woke, as we go along in our analysis, we'll find out. But he's not conservative. Jack Reacher is just something.
Like Jack Reacher, I struggled. I say there's no internality there, right? Because I can't think of like what he wants to do in his free time. There's like whenever like some stray piece of information comes to him and he's kind of like, I have completed the thing that I was going to complete here. Now this stray piece of information will take me elsewhere.
Yeah.
And so like I struggle to see any internality. And also, but you know the thing that I struggle the most to see is that this man has no charisma.
Yeah, zero. He is his work.
He's like a bag of corn.
Yeah.
Like a bag of corn has actually more charisma.
That's a lot of animal feed. You'll hear him say that 5 times in the show. That's a lot of feed.
That's a lot of feed. And brother, maybe you should eat it a little bit.
I know he probably eats like a horse. That's the one clue that also sort of escapes him, that like he can't explain right away. All the animal feed.
That's the mystery within like this show. It's like, what is the animal feed? Like only because he is missing maybe just a single second piece of data for him to like connect everything.
Yeah.
Everything else is a singular point of data that he knows. He has no charisma though. Very regularly, the show acknowledges this, where Roscoe is the only woman.
Only woman in this town.
Yeah, only woman in this town, and therefore the apple of many eyes, except Reacher's.
Yeah, there's not much chemistry between people besides the animosity between them, or as it relates to this case. So you don't really. There's very few scenes that are just about downtime or about like Reacher the man or Roscoe's affections. So when it does happen, it is very awkward, I guess. Let's say in most of the buildup, well, there is no buildup as far as emotional connection. It's more just calculate the amount of screen time they had and go from there.
To the point that like Reacher spends most of the time talking down to her to be like, I know exactly how to survive and resolve this mystery.
I'm right. You're wrong.
And at a certain point, like, Roscoe says the immortal line, you have kind eyes. And I'm like, I've seen those eyes. I don't know. Those eyes are built for only one thing. And that's figuring out the perfect space to lead this bullet that's going to go directly into somebody's head.
Or where he left a crowbar so he can grab it and dismember an assailant with it. What is a weapon? How could it be fashioned into a weapon?
Well, his body's the weapon.
Yeah.
This show exists kind of like in a space online where it's just like, oh yeah, this is the big guy show. And it's true.
Yeah, he's a big guy, literally.
In
big head, big bulk.
The show is constantly like, yeah, this man's giant.
They make quite a few jokes in lieu of having any sort of catchphrase or identity. It's just, he's big. A child says it. He goes to a tailor. He says, I don't have enough fabric to make a suit for you.
Hey.
But there's no, besides that, I think that's about it. He doesn't have a catchphrase. There's nothing stylish. He's big.
Do you like Reacher? Like, could you see yourself?
No,
like,
I wouldn't have
doing
a, drink
a
with
shot
him.
of Malort with Reacher.
No, I wouldn't. Wouldn't have Malort with Reacher. Wouldn't drink tea with.
You
Reacher.
wouldn't have a broth with Reacher?
No, wouldn't eat. Wouldn't eat Texas pastries with Reacher. Wouldn't have any kolaches on the interstate. Wouldn't road trip with Reacher. No bonding.
He would be so bad at
He'd be insufferable. I'd try and play my mix. He'd critique it the whole way.
He's like, you're listening to Jim Croce?
Turn this weak shit off. What do you have the blues and that's enough.
I think Reacher would be such a bad hang.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't want
Big
to
turn off.
spend a fucking moment with him.
He also not the sort of guy to he doesn't trauma dump. So we don't have to worry about that. He's not really, as far as emotional connection, not intimate with anybody. And
Not even his brother. Not even his stepbrother. He never pulls out the Ouija board to just tell him how he's doing.
Yeah. And when, despite some flashbacks, despite these traumatic moments, they spend about 2 minutes on it, which is about all you're going to get. But like when he's sad or like in remorse, he just stares. It's the same deadpan. Like no matter what's happening, he's like locked in.
Yeah, he releases one tear, the heaviest tear to have ever existed.
Yeah, then he's dehydrated.
He is just this wall of like meat and facts, and there's nothing that gets through it. Literally zero things get through it. I don't.
Yeah.
What does he joke about? What does he laugh about? I don't know. But like there's almost no central conflict here either, other than just like my brother died, which is kind of bad.
Yeah,
you know, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You kind of want to. The other than that, it's like there's a mystery, but there's kind of nothing there.
Yeah,
it's kind of like this guy just landed here.
Yeah,
he says it himself. I'm a hobo, and then he just finds bullies and starts beating bullies up.
Yeah,
killing them. But like.
I mean, it does start with that wrongful conviction or the wrongful accusation, spending some jail time with another character that works for the villain under a
with
dubious...
another pencil neck, limp-wristed, light on the loafers.
A shrimp for Jack Reacher to defend in the big house.
The audience insert.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And I'll admit the first episode entailing that, coming upon Mongrave, coming upon hearings of a murder, hearings of this crime, and ending up in jail. That happens very quickly. Like within the first 20 minutes, he's in prison, senselessly murdering people to no... I mean, the warden doesn't find out, and it's the guards that pull him back out. But it is like, that's the very first example of like, okay, there's no time to really dwell on anything. It's just going to go, go, go. But it never feels fast because there's no urgency behind anything. It is just, like you said, just this series of events, I guess. No connection, no drama behind anything.
Season 1 really is like the moments in between gunshots.
Yes.
And like if the show was capable of not having anything but gunshots, it would have that.
Yeah.
And every single person gets that like treatment.
Yeah.
Like Malcolm Goodwin, who plays Oscar Finley, is not excited to see people die in his small town. He's from Boston. We always need to know he's from Boston.
Yes, yeah. They mentioned that like 5 times.
And he's like, I don't want more people to die in my town, Reacher. Unless I'm doing it.
Yeah.
The same thing with Roscoe. Like Roscoe gets some bullets into some people too.
Yeah.
One of them being a little old mayor.
Yeah.
Who is corrupt, but what mayor isn't corrupt, right?
Yeah.
What small town Georgian mayor isn't corrupt, right?
It's more of the way they set it up by that second or third episode about corrupt mayor, corrupt town businessmen and everything is more like, well, we know they're evil. We know what's going to happen in the end, but what are the steps in between then and now? Like, what exactly are they doing? And how is Reacher going to find out? What object is he going to look at to then give him the idea
Up
of what?
to and including this mayor,
Yeah,
who is the most cartoonishly
Yeah.
evil mayor to have ever existed, to the point that he's walking around with a cane with a diamond
yeah,
on the cane. And he's not even walking around. He's not using the cane.
Yeah.
It's purely an accessory. And then at a certain point in the show, it has to very openly and very directly tell the audience, oh, this person died with a diamond-shaped bruise on the head. Who might that be? There's no subtlety in this show.
yeah. It's all very direct. In the past, there was a detective show called Matlock, and episodes would always begin with who did it. You would see a clip of the crime being committed, and maybe how it was covered up, and maybe where other characters are at that exact moment, so you know what people knew when. But it would always show you who exactly did what at the beginning, and then the episode would just be figuring it out. Jack Reacher is just a little less subtle and direct than that.
It's like he lands in a town that has like evil incorporated.
Yeah.
Like the central villain in this is just like the big castle with the thunderstorm above it 24/7 and Dracula lives in it.
Yeah.
So there's no subtlety ever on like who is the bad guy. Is it the mayor that walks around with like an evil cane, or is it the like shitty fucking 35-year-old fail son KJ, who is the son of the CEO that is so evil that he has a entirely black corporate office where he just actively tells Finley that, oh, maybe you should watch out, Finley. You know, we're still racist down here.
Yeah, and he pursues Roscoe's affections, or not affections. He tries to dominate her and overpower her. KJ.
Yeah. KJ isn't an incel though. He is like overbearing. He's like, Roscoe, why don't you love me? Ain't I good enough for you? Look at my big truck. But
Could
he's
almost be
never
an
incel.
80s movie villain.
Yeah, like he could be dropped into
He's
a ski
fake,
resort.
flimsy,
Yes.
rotten on the inside. The one moment that did make me think of like, oh, the writers may be out of touch in most ways, but in this one blit, they did see some like sort of internet speak or like some sort of evil internet thing. And that was at the very end. I'm not going to say spoiler alert because whatever. This show is what it is. And you already know. You'll find out who.
If you're 65 plus listening to this and you
spoiler
care
alert, I don't
about
wanna
the
ruin it for you.
spoiler, I guess spoiler.
If you're in assisted living, pause it now and watch it. But anyone else, whatever. In the end, they're in a warehouse that's on fire and everything. It's a good action scene. A lot of people get got. You know, I didn't mean a good action scene. I just meant there is action and it is a scene. But he delivers a large monologue about how Reacher is like a rhino that he saw and he killed on safari, and a rhino that did whatever it wanted. It had sex with any other rhinos it wanted to and everything, and just went about its way and did it. And that sounds like an incel tirade. Like that sounds like the Chad and the loser sort of way of seeing things. So maybe a writer did see like a little bit of incel speech, but not much. And that's the only thing that made me think like, okay, this is like a new type of villain. That's the only thing.
I
Everything
remember
else was,
that. And I like this guy, KJ, is by no means like a Casanova.
yeah.
For whatever reason, he doesn't know that like money, all the money that he has, can like, you know, put him in a situation where a lot of people are fine to give him affection. He is very crucially not a child. He's not a young adult. He is like a fully grown man.
Yeah.
Older than the both of us when he was shooting this season 1. And all I could think of is, why is he being played like an adolescent that's like
Yeah.
angry that he's not gonna be able to
You're
take
right. I didn't think about that.
Roscoe to the homecoming.
Yeah.
To the homecoming bonfire. Not
Yeah.
even the dance, the bonfire.
You'd think by that age he wouldn't see things in the way of like, oh, Reacher is a rhino, I'm on safari sort of thing. He'd just see things as like, well, I have power through the Kleiner family and we do evil shit. I don't know.
Yeah, by the time
No high school beefs or grudges. That'd be lowly for any 35-year-old man. But then again, we've seen plenty of people that have proven us wrong on those grounds.
at this time in his life, he would have already gone through college. He would have probably been in a fraternity. He would have probably
For sure.
done some stuff
Old
like
Southern
internationally. Like this guy he's got some money, and in that safari, that where I assume he sat down after he killed a rhino, like dumbass Eric Trump,
Yes.
looking real buck-toothed, looking real ugly. Next to him, like by no means should he be running around being like, I can't get the girl. I can't get the girl.
Yeah, it would have been better. Well, I don't want to throw out things like, well, they should have done this because whatever. That could go anywhere. But they could have thrown in that like he is like they could have had, oh, he's married and his wife hates him, or there's like just complete animosity, which they do later with.
Or that he has like a drug problem.
Yeah.
Right?
None of that either. Like there's no other flaws other than he's just evil.
And he doesn't get
And he
the
kills
girl.
people. Yeah. Small town. I don't know. Maybe no one to romance. No one. Even though he can leave anytime he wants. I don't know.
He could leave anytime he wants and also buy wherever he lands. He could buy the entire town wherever he is.
Yeah.
And like I kind of harp on this because I was watching it. I was trying to think, who is this for? Who is watching this?
Yeah, target
why do they
audience.
want to watch this? And like the central like pillar of Jack Reacher's virtue, which is I hate bullies. And KJ is the bully.
Yeah.
The bully in a Grease type of way.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm
Gonna beat him up outside the soda shop and then take my girl for a ride in the car, you know.
and have like a little bit of and have no drugs while doing it.
Yeah.
I will not drink
Yeah,
and drive.
completely. Besides a couple shots of whiskey and things, so Reacher is sober.
And if KJ is the bully, that needs to be brought down, right?
Yeah.
This show, I mean, it does it, right? Like, first, like, I would like to zoom in and say, at the core, Reacher is against all bullies, right? The flashbacks are all about this.
Yeah.
He says it, and there's, I would go ahead and say that there's almost no one on earth that's like pro-bully.
Yeah.
There's like no teeth to saying I hate bullies. And it kind of like reaches a limit, a very like pubescent
Yeah.
point where it's just like, oh, I hate bullies.
Yeah.
I hate bullies. And oh, I would love the girl to see the way that I stand up for others.
Yeah.
And then Roscoe. Roscoe's the girl that KJ doesn't get.
Yeah.
Roscoe is the girl that Reacher gets.
Right. Through no effort of his own besides
Being
I guess-
around.
Yeah, existing.
Not
Being on the case.
being the only single man that like appears.
It's kind of like a Hallmark movie in that way. Like, oh yeah, the male love interest just shows up out of nowhere. There's one single woman, and then they hit it off just because they exist in the same space at the same time. But it's not Christmas in Margrave. It's a summer of,
It's perpetual summer, but it's also
Yeah.
like not so hot that anybody comments on it.
yeah,
What do you think about this romance of like Reacher
flat.
and Ross?
They do not actually have chemistry. There's no actual chemistry. It honestly, if they went on a date, I think they'd write it off as a work expense. Didn't.
Look, like, God forbid I step into heterosexual business. So like I am gonna out you as a heterosexual man. So I just need to know, like, like, does this, have you ever, I just,
Thinking
nothing
about
about this even feels heterosexual, you know?
yeah, it feels asexual in a lot of ways. In that Jack Reacher is driven by violence and trivia and knowledge, and not, I guess, asexual in a way that like he's not driven by human connection. Really,
And despite being just meat and information, Roscoe's like,
yeah, because I mean, they do go out drinking once, which is when you see Jack Reacher drink. Oh, because they dance at the bar too. So that's
badly. Let me say up top, badly.
yeah. She's the one that initiates the dance as well. He's kind of like a dummy or like a figure that she can use in that capacity.
Have you, like,
Because once again, he didn't like the country music they were playing at the bar. He just wants to listen to blues.
he wants to fuck to blues.
Yeah,
too.
that too. There was whatever. But he is, for all intents, whatever she needs Reacher to be, he can be a few things.
Like, there's no.
He's not remembering the anniversary. He's not bringing a birthday gift. If he were on Hinge, he's not the sort of guy to message with definite plans or any ideas. He's sending a sup on Hinge, and that's about it.
Like, you can never. I don't think you could find Reacher on Hinge.
No.
You can't find them on Bumble.
Yeah.
You definitely cannot find them on, like, Field. There
Farmers
ain't nothing.
only with Reacher. That's a lot of fee. That's a lot of fee. That should be Farmers Only's new tagline. That's a lot of fee.
You can find them on Farmers Only.
Yeah.
Even
Doing
though he's
espionage work. He's trying to find people related to Kleiner.
He's just happy that he could, like, lift things.
Yeah. That'd be an ideal day for him, is looking at Wikipedia on his phone and then lifting a heavy object up and down and maybe sparring with one of those dummies you see in action movies where they have a training montage.
I just don't, like, I have to sit here and say it feels so strange that there is nothing heterosexual about the Reacher and Roscoe getting at each other.
Yeah,
like,
because it happens immediately. Like, he doesn't do foreplay either, so there's nothing leading into it besides, they're in the same hotel room. And he slams his bed against the wall and like, shouldn't put your bed where they're expecting. They could kill you.
Oh yeah, while they're hiding from some like assassin.
Yeah.
And so like I played a heterosexual for like 10 years. I know my way around talking to women. In Richard,
and the best way is to tell them someone's going to kill you.
No.
Just like Reacher does.
No. Listener, just tell someone they're pretty and then shut up. If you're a 6'2", 6'3",
ham-hock-headed golem
with like a gigantic amount of muscle mass
and no body hair, which is
just say hello and shut up. Like, that's all you need to do. And Reacher doesn't do that.
No.
By no means does Reacher do that.
Yeah.
And Roscoe still gets at it. And I say this because I say there's nothing heterosexual here because I need to say there's nothing gay about this show at all.
Yeah.
Ain't no homosexuals
There's
in Margrave.
Nothing.
Even Finley being the closest thing to a faggot that this show has doesn't even have the actual limp wrist needed.
He's kind of like they took like lines and parts of Frasier scripts that didn't make the cut, and they used it for Finley dialogue.
But without the intellectual side
no
of
intellect
things.
either. Yeah,
he's still a cop from
he gets
Boston.
bamboozled by those stupid cops on his own force quite a few times.
Like Finley doesn't talk about the books he's reading, the movies that he's watching, he doesn't talk about the media, the erudite media that would have to go along with this type of character.
Yeah.
All he is just he is just kind of this guy that exists but is not masculine.
Yeah.
And he's not gay.
Mm-hmm. He loves
has
classic
the dead
rock.
wife. He loves Kansas.
Yeah. 38 Special. Once again, back to something like pacing. A couple times they'll do things where they'll introduce a character maybe an episode ago or 2 episodes ago, and then kill them off for the sake of the story. Like, okay, we got to keep moving. We got to keep going on. And one of them is the secretary or assistant to Jack's brother, Joe, who they eventually schedule a meeting with her in a state. They call it a subway station, but Atlanta does not have a subway. It has a light rail train that goes. It has MARTA, Massive Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, or Metro Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority, which is a heavy rail train, but if you call it a subway, that's like New York City, but whatever. This train goes to downtown and the airport. But they meet her in a MARTA station, and she immediately gets killed by KJ or one of his henchmen. And then segue 60 seconds later, they're driving on the interstate listening to Caught Up in You by 38 Special, and Jack Reacher is like, this, you like listening to this boring crap? And Finley's like, I love it. You know, these white boys, when they rock out, they do it. And it was just 60 seconds ago, an extremely important character to Reacher personally was killed. So there's like no any emotion in this show is either quickly stamped out or like quickly brought up and then removed.
Or even complexity. And
Complexity.
I want to talk about this a little bit. So, like, this was written by Nick Santora.
Yeah.
Right? He's the creator, the writer, and showrunner. He studied at Columbia Law School and practiced for about 6 years before going into the entertainment industry. And he has a lot of credits. He has like a lot of credits. This man has been working for the last 20 years, 20 plus years. He's written for The Sopranos, Lie to Me, Prison Break, Law and Order, and another Dick Wolf show called FBI. And in 2019, the famed and current Paramount big smelly cheese David Ellison greenlit this show. This show that is just pro law enforcement slop.
And a show that was presumably interrupted in its production by COVID. Which thinking of post-COVID media, I thought a little bit about that, looking at Margrave and everything, because, okay, small town, maybe there's nobody out or there's not a lot of people, but there would be, like, you'd see people on the sidewalk walking around in street scenes. There are sometimes some scenes where there's no people walking around at all. Like, it is just like it's like a town someone built in The Sims or something, or like just a place, like a placeholder graphic. Yeah. It's no genuine life.
Nothing. Margrave got rid of all the homosexuals.
Yes.
All of COVID. Ain't no COVID in Margrave.
Yeah, they didn't believe in it. No.
They kept only
they didn't do that either. Like, there is a conspiracy behind everything, but it's very simple. Like, oh, you know, these good old boys are doing bad, but the real connection, the real fuel, the engine driving everything is evil Venezuela. It's like just appear out of nowhere like a character, like an RPG enemy. Like just, Reacher has initiated a fight with Venezuelan soldiers of fortune and everything. Yeah. They're fueling everything. They can come out of nowhere. He makes counterfeit money for the Venezuelans. I guess if that didn't exist, then I guess Kleiner would just be some asshole who'd owned a couple warehouses and cows and things.
Yeah. And that's all you need to be rich in Georgia.
Yeah. Is to own some land and a warehouse with chemicals and boxes.
Like, this show is absolutely separated from like the material reality that you and I live. Yeah. It exists in some like limbo space between the left and right hemisphere of some like pro-cop liberal.
Yeah. I'm not going to try and stitch it too much to politics at that time, but elderly Biden voter, that is the target audience.
I think so too.
Not a guy that fights bad law enforcement but believes in law and order. He is not racist. He is all-powerful and he does what's right.
Yeah.
And a elderly Biden voter would also have animosity and believe any sort of propaganda about Venezuela being a threat. They would believe that too.
Yeah. This is built for Joe Biden and his friend Corn Pop.
Yeah. They're watching it together.
They're watching it together, not with no admission of ever like racial wrongdoing in American past.
looking at Alan Richson's Instagram page because I just wanted to get the drop on him as well.
You also wanted to see some bikini pics.
Yeah, that'd be the same dudes from Ella's Instagram page are on his page. Like, you should make more episodes of the show. I love you so much. But Biden and his son Hunter were on set for season 4, which hasn't come out yet. So maybe Biden will be on, and his son will be on Jack Reacher.
Which is so strange.
You're a brave man, Jack.
Imagine being
we did you wrong.
I have to bring in Hunter Biden.
Biden's like, the president's like shaking his hand for a scene, and then you see Biden and Hunter in the background. Just, he's got his demons too.
Yeah, I mean, and he has thoughts about all of this American crime, but I think you're right when it's like Joe Biden is honestly.
I got an image in my head: Hunter Biden romancing Roscoe. They're in the same hotel room, but he's lighting up, blasting Fleet Foxes at like full volume, like you heard in the stories about him with the dancers.
He pulls out the crack pipe, but like Roscoe likes that.
The power of love. There's no charge, What's the crime in a little hit?
To all the writers of season 1, all you have to do is be around a woman for her to fall in love with you. That's why if you pull out the crack pipe, that's still okay.
Yeah.
Fair play. And I think, though, it is like Joe Biden and people of a certain age that are meant to watch this show. Because I was looking into Nick Santora's writing history, and I looked into one of his credits for Law and Order. He wrote 4 episodes, and I was reading on these episodes, and one of them is called Cry Wolf. I'm going to read you a little bit of the synopsis. Stop me if you know who this sounds like. Controversial radio host Christoph is shot and wounded. He is the former leader of a vigilante gang and has a history of being targeted in muggings that were apparently staged for publicity. Van Buren insists it should be treated as a genuine attempted murder unless evidence proves otherwise. Does this sound like anybody?
Sounds like a hodgepodge of a few things, but when did that come out, Cry Wolf?
Cry Wolf would have come out in 2004, 2005.
Okay.
New York, 2004, 2005.
Well, as far as conservative radio hosts and everything, definitely just Limbaugh. But as far as the act of faking an assault, faking a crime, that I can think of a few incidents from the past, especially in the 90s, where that happened, where like there was no actual assault, or nothing actually happened. Someone was paid to do some sort of dirty work, and this individual was just trying to gin up a reaction.
Let me give you this next line. Maybe this will help you. Christoph is adamant that the mafia boss, Michael Ruffarino, who he's attacked on his show, put a hit on him. Does this sound like anyone you may have heard of? New York, 2004, 2005. Well, let me give you this. Let me give you this. What if I told you this this might have been based on someone New York really got to say, hey, I like this guy more than this other guy, but not as much as Mamdani.
Oh, Cuomo. No. I'm sorry, I might pull in straws.
So this, I think, is absolutely inspired by Chainsmokers, Superfan, and NYC mayor.
Yes, it's definitely. Yeah. So I'd forgotten all about him because I was like, well, he did his duty. I gave him his flowers, whatever. But you're right, Sliwa is unique. You can't mistake him for anybody else.
He was in 1992. There was an assassination attempt on Sliwa. You know, Sliwa says that it's like the Gambino crime family was the one that like did that or whatever. I don't know. But what I do know is that by the late 2000s, that has ran its course. Because when you see this history, and when you would see him in the New York mayoral debates, he would always bring this up.
Yeah.
And that's how I learned about it. And Nick Santora, who is the creator of Reacher, absolutely took this experience and wrote it into Law and Order.
For sure.
And the funny thing is that Santora, being a big silly guy that likes to write about big silly men, wrote this episode of Law and Order that ends with the mafia boss kind of being a sympathetic character because he cares about his son, and maybe he set up a murder to make sure that he is okay. And in Sliwa's case against the John Gotti ended in the late 2000s. So like Santora came in being like, yeah, ain't nothing gonna happen to this guy. We all kind of like the mafioso. I mean, after writing for The Sopranos and a couple of other shows, it's hilarious.
Yeah, it rhymes at least.
It's hilarious because it's like this show is really for the type of guy that would know this kind of stuff.
Yeah,
they would be like, oh, Curtis Sliwa is like a 90s vigilante made famous in the 80s, and he now has this radio show that he took over from Rush Limbaugh.
Oh shoot, yeah.
After Rush Limbaugh moved on up to make a little bit more money.
Nationwide broadcasting. Yeah. Shoot. Yeah. I could see that. Also, does make me wonder, with Santora taking in all those sources and things, shoot, what he had. Because that makes a good storyline if it's someone interesting like Sliwa, but if he just did any old shock jock, if he picked
if it was Alex Jones,
it'd be
it would be an entirely
good
different
parody, but not much else.
But I would go as far as to say that Nick Santora probably doesn't like a character like Alex Jones, because there's no
it's very ugly.
There's no valor in Alex Jones.
Yeah.
You could misinterpret Curtis Sliwa vigilantism and misplaced desire for justice as some sort of valor.
Yeah. The on that note, Sliwa, lunacy aside, I mean, offensive things said about Mamdani, of course, with his mayoral race, but it was an interesting look at what the Republican Party would look like, because Sliwa didn't. Especially once Trump threw him under the bus and everything, it was an interesting look at a Republican Party not backed by capital, I guess.
Yeah.
Very. I don't mean that as necessarily a good thing, but a unique thing, I guess. I would like the Republican Party to be kneecapped and not have the backing.
Sliwa himself said that someone offered him $10 million to drop out.
Oh my God!
Would you have taken that deal?
No. No, I wouldn't have. No. That's one a principle.
Listener, I will not answer.
Yeah. Next question. I don't have to answer. Not at this would not be answered at this time.
Congresswoman, I do not have that information in front of me.
Yeah. But shoot. Yeah, that's a good way to liven up a story.
And I think that's also why
good natural characters.
I think that's also why Venezuela plays a part in this.
Yeah.
Venezuela now
boogeyman
in 2026 we can say is a boogeyman.
Yeah.
For a certain type of
absolutely.
Person. But back when this was airing, Venezuela existed as kind of a right-wing boogeyman, but it wasn't the current moment, that needs to be amplified for hate.
Yeah.
And therefore policy issues to be advanced. It wasn't like that back then.
Definitely. Especially because when Bush did his Axis of Evil speech, Iraq, Afghanistan, North Korea was the three he picked.
Yeah.
So of course, then you saw movies where North Korea's a villain. And even now, that's also a boogeyman, but we just don't think about them as much.
And like now, Venezuela is like, like the Trump administration is like actively trying to use the Venezuelans as a like cudgel to like remove more and more freedoms.
Yes. Take the natural resources, destroy the state.
But I think this is absolutely a little bit of an Obama, like Bush era, like conception of America.
Yeah.
In about like, or maybe even older. Maybe I shouldn't say older, but like this is definitely for a melting brain like Joe Biden.
Yeah. I do see not a lot of Bush era principles, but at least with having that boogeyman, there's one component, I guess. Also, Bush being a Republican that doesn't say overtly racist things. The handling of Hurricane Katrina is incredibly racist. Makes me wonder what Jack Reacher was doing around that point in time.
And if he was like posted up with a sniper rifle on rooftops.
Funny image. Alan Richardson posted up on a football stadium, but in reality, that
giant
was real,
man.
Yeah, couldn't miss him. Like you'd see him right there. But yeah, I guess that. I guess a Bush era thing. Not in that something the Bush administration would want to see it this way, but the idea also of federal government finally failing at a level, like they're not able to stop Kleiner or this conspiracy set with Venezuela. The government has failed to prevent this. So especially by the end of the second Bush administration, that was a lot of the messaging or a lot of the feeling at the time. Like, okay, the federal government is negligent. It let Katrina destroy New Orleans. It let the housing market collapse. It let all these things happen through blindsided ignorance.
And I sit here thinking about Venezuela in 2026, right?
Yeah.
And I do think that I do like that. Like when I was watching this, like Venezuela ended up being a little bit of a red herring.
Yeah,
like it wasn't actually like Latinos being evil or whatever. Literally in the last episode, I was just like, I don't want to watch Latinos being portrayed as narcos anymore. And that was so in my mind when I was watching this show. And I'm so glad that it just ended up being good old-fashioned American crime.
Yes. Yeah, they're the brains behind the operation. They're the ones doing everything. They're the final conflict. Any outsider is on camera for like 4 minutes or so.
And then they die.
They're video game characters for Reacher to just like,
Reacher sneaks up, presses triangle, and breaks their neck.
Yeah, they're GTA NPCs.
And I like that. And so like I was kind of looking into this.
Yeah.
Into this a little bit. Like Venezuela in the 90s was going through its own conflict. There was an American-backed like neoliberal like piece of shit. Of course.
Standard operation.
Hugo Chavez comes in.
Yeah.
In 1992, he attempts a coup. That doesn't work out. He then eventually does come in and like figure that out and becomes the head of state. And then eventually Maduro like follows the Bolivarian revolutionary into leading Venezuela to still be a non-capitalist, non-US aligned country in Latin America. I like that. And like in the 90s, like I was thinking, okay, maybe this is kind of a little bit of like old racism that I don't know about. But it's not like that, because I looked into the book Killing Floor, which is what this season's based on. Venezuela does come up. So Venezuela was always cooked into it. But there is no mention of dictatorships. There's no mention of Chavez, socialism.
I know why.
Why?
That book came out in 97.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And but even back then, there was no mention of it.
Yeah.
And I honestly, chill. It was, even back then, Lee Childs was like, yeah, this is just American crime.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. Initially, I was worried about how the story would go. This is before I even watched Reacher, but I was just looking at the Wikipedia for Lee Childs and doing all that, because he's British.
Yeah.
So I was worried that like this show would play out like when a Doctor Who episode goes to the United States and there's like everything wrong and people aren't using the right lingo and things, but it didn't happen.
No. And the thing is, like, Lee Child, whose real name is unknown to the world. Lee Child is a big man. He's 6'4".
Wow.
He's 6'4". He seems to be middle class from kind of like a shitty part of England, which is all of England. And he had this belief that came from like his time in school where he would stand up against bullies. And so, of course, Reacher does the thing.
It all originates from like prep school trauma. He went through like a boarding school rivalries. First, it became Jack Reacher and all
From
this.
what I can tell, yeah.
Like I'll stand up to him on the cricket field.
He would beat up some bully and then go to the Chippies and grab some Chippies and some white sauce.
Yes, eating that and having a daydream where he thinks of himself as an American CIA. His brother was Secret Service. Jack Reacher was military police.
Yeah.
Thinks of himself as some American troop.
And like I looking into Lee Child is so interesting because he worked for this like news station called Granada.
Oh,
Which is not in Granada. It's just called Granada.
yeah.
And he did that for a long time. Eventually, he got fired from his role in that like fury of being laid off because this company merged with another company.
Yeah.
Got him so angry that he started to write these books. And so like I looked into this guy and I kind of like this guy. He is not out here sniffing his own farts. He is like, I'm not gonna say he's humble, but he's definitely not pretentious. He like notes that he would rather be selling millions of books than to be compared to like writers like Haruki Murakami. Which is so fun. He's just kind of like this guy that's like, yeah, I'm the Reacher guy. I'm okay with being the Reacher guy. He's just so honest about just being this type of guy.
Yeah. That's good. It does make me think of as far as I think the reason why I keep calling Jack Reacher CIA is because of the Tom Clancy Jack Ryan series. Jack Ryan also goes to Venezuela, and that show with favorite of the show John Krasinski.
Yeah, me being a John Krasinski hater.
Yeah, he's got a big head too, but Jack Ryan goes to Venezuela in the show they did at some point, and that's more like just this very bad, flat portrayal of the Venezuelan government and Venezuelan people.
It's way more Obama-Trump era.
Yes, yeah.
Than this, which is like the decaying brain of Joe Biden.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, this is him. He got wheeled into some sort of like foreign policy meeting and he's just taking it in like, oh, Jack, I don't know.
So I want to ask the question, is this show woke? And I want to give you this line from this article that I read. This is Lee Child saying, "Hey, what's going on here? You know, he when he started making the big bucks, he moved to the United States, just like many people, and he eventually he was trying to like figure out the difficulties. So he has this line in this interview where he's talking about the difficulties in America, and he kind of got to the point where he says, I think that almost everything can be explained by this deep hatred that the majority of white Americans have for black Americans. It's the only thing that makes sense. This is a 70-year-old British man saying this. White British man. Redundant, but...
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, this show's woke in a Joe Biden way. Only in a Joe Biden way. Like, the least racist white grandpa you could imagine is into this show. It's woke in that way.
And it's
someone that saw the civil rights marches in the 60s was like, oh, I admire him. I support it. but could be conservative in other ways. Like, as you said, in their mind, a healthy relationship is Jack Reacher and Roscoe Conklin.
Yeah. Where there's no romance, there's just straight pipe, and then like almost nothing afterwards.
Yeah.
But the way that you kill people and the amount of people you kill.
Don't torture people. Torture is morally wrong.
Yeah.
Killing people, for right and wrong, it's right.
It's such a an American, a powerful American point of view. Either you're rich or you're like a senator or something where you're like murdering people quickly is okay. Doesn't matter the race, the creed, the gender. As long as you are slaughtering them quickly.
Like what Biden said, train cops to shoot people in the leg.
In the leg, yeah.
And not in the head or the chest. One other post-Bush notion in this show, of not many, Iraq War flashback. Jack Reacher's been accused of killing civilians. Goes back to Iraq. He's there, spotless military uniform. He did kill civilians, but only to defend children from pedophiles.
Yeah.
So we weren't able to get Iraq democracy or a functional government, just trying to get the material resources, but they did kill pedophiles, which is the new struggle.
Yeah, it's not Bill Clinton woke.
No.
It might be Joe Biden woke.
Yeah.
But even that, being squarely anti-pedophile, Reacher being that, and the show being that, definitely puts it so much more left than a lot of powerful people.
True.
But that's still not saying much, because at the end of the day, that's still at the core, I hate bullies.
Yeah.
And who the fuck is standing up for pedophiles other than Megyn Kelly? I guess.
Easy target in all instances.
Yeah.
You couldn't imagine someone standing up for pedophiles. So go at it, Reacher.
Well, at least
by any means necessary.
At least not a lot of people.
Like a Statham movie, yeah. Just so we're on the same page, Bill Clinton woke would be like West Wing.
Would it? What? I've never seen West Wing, but I was under the impression that West Wing was a Republican president. Whoever Mr. President
was a
West
Democrat.
Wing.
Martin Sheen?
I thought he was a Republican.
Well, now I don't remember. I just remember being very it operates under the notion that the government is orderly and efficient and everyone has good intentions and cannot be manipulated by money.
Which in 2026 we could say, yeah.
That's a good fantasy.
Yeah, bro.
What?
So let me throw this wrench into the question of woke. Is this woke? And then I'm gonna say this. I looked into Alan Ritchson. Did you? I know that you were looking at his bikini pics.
He's been in action movies after this. He was in a made-for-streaming movie with the guy from King of Queens.
Yeah.
They play dads that become friends. And Reacher is still going on. It's a strong intellectual property, but he was in that Inglourious Basterds ripoff that I didn't see.
Yeah, the Ministry of
Ungentlemanly Warfare. A lot of good scenes, a lot of good shots where he's got his flexing his biceps, captaining a ship.
Hey, yo, what you trying to say, big man?
Just saying,
you're saying
people make gains.
You're saying he looked good with some sweat on him.
I wonder if because I'm not going to watch it, but I do wonder if he does that deadpan everywhere. Because I saw a clip of the dad movie, and even then he was he's completely monotone and shouting. And it's supposed to be a comedy, and he's just we're the best friends. We're the best friends.
He is a father of 3.
Wow.
He is, and he's diligently married. He loves his wife. And he's a real soft guy. Alan Ritchson is a soft guy. He is very open about his dad was a naval and non-commissioned officer, and he didn't want that. He actually went to go get an art degree. He was a model. He was in American Idol as a contestant. He writes, he directs. Yeah. He's a soft guy. He's built. He looks like he needs to ask the question, why is there so much cow feed and why is it not in my mouth? Like, he is actively that guy. But he's open. He's very open. He's a very soft guy. He even talks about his suicide attempt.
Wow.
Yeah, he talks about having
Alan Richardson.
bipolar disorder. And he also does this. He talks about his Christian beliefs.
Huh.
So we have to ask.
That's like Biden woke.
That is
mental
Biden.
health awareness, but tying it all on a night ribbon with, I guess, being religious.
Like, I don't know. But like, I was looking into this guy, and he had this Hollywood Reporter interview where he says this. And I'm not going to read all of it, but I'm just going to read a little bit here. He says, Christians today have become the most vitriolic tribe. It is so antithetical to what Jesus was calling us to be and to do.
Damn.
And then he goes on to say, Trump is a rapist and a con man, and yet the entire Christian church seems to be treating him like he is the poster child, and it's unreal.
We needed Jack Reacher on January 6th. We needed him to
Yeah,
go
where
in
was
there.
he? Look, if Reacher was in January 6th, he was probably defending his brother.
Yeah.
from the evil insurrectionism.
Like he'd get a message from Joe on like a text with like, "There's too many. We can't take it." And then he'd like put on the face paint that he does in that one scene, and then like you'd see him on the White House grounds hiding in a bush, glaring at the January 6th people, and then he'd get in there. He'd make Ashley Babbitt into ground beef. He'd get ground.
Reacher gets the Joe Biden phone call that he's like, Reacher, you must protect the vice president.
Oh, yeah.
You must protect Mike Pence.
Yeah. And that'd be a good
at
moment.
all
like,
costs.
Even though
lethal force authorized.
The Biden sort of woke were like, oh, even though, we have different beliefs, we know January 6th is wrong, right, Mike Pence?
And so like we have to go back to this quote.
Yeah.
And we have to say, is Reacher woke? Because in this same interview, he goes on to say this. Alan Richardson is like in the Catholic Church, right? So he then goes on to say, I can't for 1 second support the Catholic Church while there are still cardinals, bishops, and priests being passed around with known pedophilic tendencies.
Yeah. This point of contention.
This man is anti-pedophile in real life. Not Reacher, anti-pedophile. Alan Richardson, anti-pedophile.
And anti-pedophile in a way that is, I guess, concrete. What I mean is like, let's say TikTok or like engagement-based videos will have like a streamer hitting a guy on camera or something, or meeting with somebody in some random spot, doing pedophile hunter content. They could even be a streamer that has sexual assault allegations against themselves. So the whole point of the stunt is just their own ego and everything. Very few people that criticized the Catholic Church decades ago for that reason, for not confronting pedophilia among bishops and things.
Yeah.
They didn't do that for their own ego, to improve their own image. They got a ton of backlash for it. That's what happened to Sinead O'Connor, was just endless criticism and backlash for that.
And Sinead was right.
She was completely right.
And the thing is, like, J.D. Vance is a Catholic convert.
Yeah.
And he himself could never say these words.
No. Because of who he is, because of who he is connected to. Nobody in the Trump team is allowed to be anti-pedophilia. They're surrounded by pedophiles.
Yeah. They're currently finding a way to put the name Epstein back in a little cabin near Travis City at a summer camp.
That would be, as far as conservative cultural victories, that'd be the number one, is like getting the Epstein name back out there, cleaning it up, getting it back, restoring all his sponsors, who he sponsored, putting it, cabins, highways.
So the mere fact that like you brought up
Departments.
Epstein
Yeah.
unprompted was so wild to me because I read this.
Yeah.
I knew
It's a big
this.
web. We're all caught in it.
It sucks, man. It sucks. Look, woke or not, I can tell you, depressing. Fucking depressing.
Yeah, it goes on. But hey,
You know, I kind of want to end here a little bit here by saying,
yeah, there's so much.
of course, Reacher's not woke.
Yeah.
This is not a woke show by any means. There's no...
Is it baseline though? Like, if the values, I don't know, foreign policy bad, but that baseline assumption about how people should act in, well, I don't want killers running around, but the baseline, like, don't be racist.
in the
That's one thing.
circles of power, that is a vanishing concept.
Yeah.
Of not being racist and also being anti-bully. Like,
Yeah.
right now in 2026, the idea
Yeah.
of being anti-bully is vanishing.
Yeah. Big bully in the White House with a big crew.
Like we talked a little bit before we jumped
Yeah.
on earlier this week, and we were kind of like yabbering about like the Maduro kidnapping,
Yeah.
and that was nutters by itself.
Yeah. Pretty horrifying. The consequences still will be felt years from now,
Since
decades.
that conversation, ICE
Open murder.
murdered
Yeah.
Renee Nicole Good in Minneapolis. And today, before we start recording,
Shot
it
two
looks like
people.
CBP shot 2 people in Portland.
Yeah.
Like, no, this show is not woke.
Yeah.
We don't live in a woke time.
No.
There is no system level analysis or critique in this show. And honestly, I don't think Nick Santora, I don't think Alan Richson, I don't think Lee Child could make a system-wide
Yeah.
analysis, a critique on it.
It'll be, I guess in that sense, it's already a very dated piece of media. Feels very, at least this season feels like very Biden. Like the idea of, okay, we got the cellar door shut. We can do this. Like there can be some return to previous order. But as you're saying, as you've reviewed just this last week, just this last year has proven, no, the cellar door is all busted up and everything's gotten out. Oh,
And there's seemingly no alternative that is
Yeah.
being portrayed by the richest and the most powerful. I didn't know that David Ellison, Larry Ellison's son, was part of this. I didn't know that.
oh shoot! Just because of the money machine,
Yeah.
money go around. That
because
was
this is part of Skydance.
Yeah.
Skydance
Yeah.
produced this. And
Yeah.
then now Paramount
yeah,
is owned by Skydance. And now TikTok
yeah.
is owned in part by Larry Ellison. Like there is like
Same thing with Steve Mnuchin from the first Trump administration.
ugh.
Produced so many movies.
You're telling me you don't love Suicide Squad?
I couldn't. Was Alan Richson in that? He would have been a good fit.
Mnuchin
Captain Boomerang.
produced
Yeah.
Suicide Squad, brother.
Oh,
It is like looking at I wanted to just watch the show and just kind of like laugh at it a little bit.
yeah.
And I did. But then I opened up just the wrong door. And then I saw the face of the current evil and destruction looking
Yeah.
back at me. And honestly, I am so glad I get to talk about it
I
with
know.
you.
Yeah. Oh, well, here's to season 4 of Reacher, season 5. You know,
Oh yeah.
let 1,000 Reachers bloom.
Let 1,000 reachers bring justice to the bullies in this world.
Yeah, you know.
Well, thank you, Matt, for sitting down with me.
Thank you very much, AP.
I want to say thank you for watching this show. I know that you're so giddy about it and you love Alan Richson's like chiseled body. I know you do. You don't have to confirm.
The content is content. You know, if it wasn't, the thing is, you know, it's been a while since, like, I think about Schwarzenegger maybe was the last guy and
Honestly,
that same model.
I thought Schwarzenegger
bulky.
is this type of woke.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Thinking about Schwarzenegger as governor, this exact way of woke. Like, oh yeah, no bullies. Don't be racist. This could be, if it's not a Biden show, it's a Schwarzenegger show.
Just enough like corruption to be like, yeah, we're not gonna give people everything, but I'll give them a little bit and a lot to me.
Yeah, and it's for sure not a Jesse Ventura show because he's way more progressive than this, or at least believes in different conspiracy theories.
Ventura's so anti-military.
Yeah.
Like, no, not at all.
Not at all.
But I do want to say thank you for
anytime
sitting down with me. Where can the good people of Dove Weatherland find you?
You can find me on Instagram. Expect the benefits. That old tagline I came up with a long time ago. Because I've gotten back to writing in my journal, reading president books, going to presidential libraries, what I do. I'm gonna start putting these insights on a Substack. So one day you'll find me there. I do have a SoundCloud as well, but I never use that. But
well, thank you, Matt. I will have those stuff linked. As for Dove Weatherheads, you can always find me and Marcy on Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, everywhere at Dove Weather. And I just want to let you know, listener, things are a little fucked up.
Hold on.
Day. Talk to your neighbors. Organize. Please. And as we will say from now on, fuck ice.
Fuck ice.